Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's that time of the week again where I review the weekend's game, and unfortunately I am looking back at another defeat as we went down 4-2 to Peterborough United at the Medway Priestfield on Saturday. A better performance, yes, especially offensively. Looked more creative, looked more dangerous, looked more of a threat going forward, but sadly those familiar problems defensively reared their ugly head again, and for the second home game this season we conceded 4 despite actually playing okay. So I suppose it's a case of which way you look at it. You take the positives, which were we created chances and for large periods we competed with a side that is top of League One, but the other side of the coin is the fact that defensively we looked all over the show again at times throughout the game, and it's another 4 goals conceded, and I think there's only 2 teams in the division now that have conceded more than us, and that is Oxford United, I believe. Just have a quick look at the table. Oxford United have conceded 19, yeah, and Rochdale have conceded 20. We've conceded 18, so conceding exactly 2 a game now, unfortunately, in League One, which at any level's going to make it difficult to win games, because it means you've got to score 3 to win a football match, you've got to score 2 to just pick up a point. Obviously we scored 2 goals on Saturday, 2 really good goals as well from Callum Riley and Mark Byrne, both from outside the box, but we conceded double that, and in truth it could have ended up about 7-5, 7-4. Thomas Holy made 3 really good saves first half. And their keeper, Aaron Chapman, I think, he made 3 really good saves first half as well, all in one move, weirdly enough. And like we said on the Matchday Live, and I think we said on Reece and James's fancast, if we managed to stick one of them chances away and take the lead, it could have been a different game, but we didn't. We ended up conceding the first goal again. We did well to get back into it second half and equalise and then take the lead, and from there I thought we was the better side for a short period. Dean Parrott had a good chance to make it 3-1, but the keeper Chapman made a decent enough stop. But then again, another problem that keeps repeating itself was we conceded the second as they levelled it up at 2-2, and then within minutes we conceded a third and were then left chasing the game again. So that's now, what, 4th or 5th time at least that we've conceded 1 and then conceded a second goal within a few minutes afterwards, and all the while we're doing that, it's going to be very hard to win football matches. Whether that's in League One, the Checker Trade Trophy, or whatever, the FA Cup, when that starts in around 5 weeks' time, it's going to be hard. Back page though, Steve Lovell will turn the corner. That is the headline in the Monday edition of the Medway Messenger. He goes on, he said, "That was my 50th game in charge, and there have not been many where we haven't given our all. Lovell insists there is no pressure despite the poor run of results. There is only the pressure that other people put on us. He says, we don't put any pressure on ourselves, and I don't put any pressure on my players." He then goes on to say, "Our boys are fantastic. They have given everything. We may have gone 7 games without a win in the league, but you wouldn't have thought it first half." I totally agree. We competed with Peterborough all over the park. Sadly, the defensive lapses again ultimately cost us the game. But you can't just play well for short periods. You can't play well for a deep 1 half here or half hour there or 20 minutes there. And when you are playing well, you have to stick it in the back of the net and make it count. And we're just not doing that at the moment, unfortunately. In terms of match report, Luke Cordell sums it up properly in his last paragraph. "Against the better teams, they have impressed this season without success, while against the poorest, they have disappointed. They need to find the middle ground." I've said it plenty of times since the start of the season. From the games I've seen, we just seem too intent at the moment on being on the front foot, and it's costing us going the other way. Again on Saturday, 3 of the goals are probably really avoidable. As I say, the 4th one I take with a pinch of salt, because we pushed everyone on trying to chase an equaliser late on, and that happens all the time. Teams go and score again on the break when the team that's losing is pushing for a leveller. But the first goal could be avoided. I think Connor Ogilvie gets caught out of position slightly, and then Max Amar has to come across. He tries to win his header and it bounces off their player. They get a free cross into the box, and then we're stretched, and the lad's got a tap in from effectively sort of 12 yards, which he finishes off really well. And then again, you're chasing the game again. I think their equaliser comes from a slip. It's one through ball through the heart of our defence. We slip, and then Sariki Dembele's one-on-one with the keeper. Again, he tucks it away well. The third goal comes from an overload on one side, because I think Barry Fuller's nowhere to be seen in the right back position. And I'm not saying that's his fault. I mean, he might be having to go and do something because someone else is not doing their job. But again, it comes back to taking responsibility and doing your own things correctly. And if we're not, then we end up out of position, stretched, and we can see goals invariably. And credit to Ivan Toney. I had my views on him during the game in the Matchday Live, and Dembele. I thought their antics were pretty shameful at times, but it's a brilliant finish from Ivan Toney, and that's why they spent the best part of $750,000 on him. That's the budget we were competing with, and that's not an excuse. It's just the way it is. And but yeah, you just think earlier on in the moves we could probably do more to prevent them from playing through us so easily, and then you might not concede so many. But such is life, and when you're down there and struggling, there's always fine lines, and everything seems to go against you when you're not winning football matches. And I suppose on the flip side of that is Peterborough. They're winning football matches at the moment, and everything they hit seems to go in terms of statistics for the game. They had 9 shots on target, we had 5. We had 7 off target and they had 5, so it's 12 shots against 14. That's not massively different. We had more corners, I think we had more possession just about. In terms of match ratings, Luke Cordell's done his. I don't think we were too dissimilar. He said wholly 7, we said 6.5. Back 4 I agree with, they all got 6. Slightly different in the middle. Mark Burns 7 from Luke, we gave him 6.5. Callum Riley got 7, we gave him 6.5. And he gave both Dean Parrott and Regan Charles Cook 8. I gave them both 6.5. I thought they both had good spells. Unfortunately, Regan had to come off early again in the second half with an ankle problem. Fingers crossed it's just impact and he's not out for any games. But I thought for every good ball that Dean Parrott played, there was times when he lost it. He kept trying to drop his shoulder and cut inside and get a shot away, and it worked a couple of times. I think he dragged one wide first half, and he had the keeper scrambling across to make a save just after we'd gone 2-1 up. And again, if that goes in and we go 3-1 up, we probably see it out, but it didn't. And then he tried it again, and I think he had one charge down, and then finally he tried it again, and they'd cottoned onto it, and they picked it off him and broke, and we conceded from it, unfortunately. And when you're in the position where you're playing an attack-minded midfielder at the base of a diamond, which Steve Lovell seems to be doing at the moment, it then leaves you awfully exposed, and we suddenly had half the team out of the game, and they went and scored from it. So maybe that's another thing to look at on the training ground. But yeah, sorry, off on a tangent, but back to finishing the match ratings. Brendan Hanlon 7, we both gave. And Luke gave Josh Parker a 6, we gave him 6.5. I thought he was all right Saturday. I thought the front three linked up really well first half. Second half, when we was chasing it, we didn't see so much ball, and unfortunately, no disrespect, but Tom Eves come on, and then I think our players decided that the easy option was to try and hit him, hit his head and hit his chest with big diagonals, and it didn't really work, and it made it a lot easier for both their centre halves to defend, which was second half was Elliot Bennett and Yorworth, I think the name was. I'm not sure what his Christian name was, because Ryan Taffazoli had to go off with a bad head injury at half time after clashing heads with Elliot, not Elliot Bennett, his centre half part of Bennett. But yeah, it's 7 without a win in League One now, and it's 1 point from 21. It's not good. We can't sit here and dress it up and pretend it's any better than it is, because it isn't. And Saturday's massive against Shrewsbury. They are above us on goal difference, and we travel up there. I think we earned a point up there last season, so it'd be a massive game. Is it a relegation 6-pointer already? Perhaps. We did all the talk on Gills and James's fan cast about is Steve Lovell in the last chance saloon. So I'm not going to go over old ground again. In terms of Dean Parrott, who we've already spoken about, he went on to speak about we can go up against the best. He says we played very well in spells. Yes, but as I've already said, if you're playing well in them spells, you have to make them count. You have to take advantage. You have to stick one away and make it pay. And we didn't again at 0-0 when we was bright first half, and then we didn't do it when we was 2-1 up. We had 3 opportunities in a row. First half all saved by the keeper. Another day one goes in and we take the lead. Yep, that's fine. Got no issue with that. That's fine margins that I've already spoken about. Different game if we go 1-0 up. And we have shown we can battle with the best in the league, is another quote from Dean. They are one of the best, and we just have to take the positives from it. You do, yes, but that also you have to look at the bits that have gone wrong and you have to rectify them. And bottom line is we have to rectify them pretty quickly at the moment, because unfortunately, we are now in the bottom 4, and them 2 wins, first games of the season, seem a long, long way away at the moment. Steve Lovell decided to go right the other way this week after digging out his players in the press the last few games. He's gone right the other way, labelled the performance as magnificent. I'm not sure it was magnificent. We conceded 4 at home for the second time this season, but it was a lot better. If we are looking for positives and trying to steer away from the negatives, of course, we created plenty. We caused them problems, and they're a good side, and they're probably going to end up in the top 6 at least this season. So yeah, they're positives. But bottom line is we can't keep conceding goal after goal, and as I say, there's only 2 sides in the division now that have conceded less than us, and that's got to change. We've got to get back to basics. I think we've got to get ourselves to be solid, because at the end of the day, if you don't concede, you're earning a point at least, and then if we can get the balance right and get our attacking players into good areas, we'll probably start picking up wins. But all the time, as I've already said, all the time we're conceding to a game, it's very, very difficult to win football matches in the league, and it needs to change very, very quickly. But yeah, that's pretty much. It's not a long one tonight. We're keep it short and sweet, I suppose. But final thing is, work did begin today at the Priestfield on the new pitch. That has all been dug up now. The top surface of the at the ground, it's just sand now rather than just sand and grass. I mean, I alluded to it on Saturday. There was one goal kick that Thomas Holy took, and about a piece of turf that was about 2 foot in diameter just literally just peeled off the floor. It was concerning, and you can certainly see why we're having to spend the best part of $500,000 to get it sorted. So fingers crossed, when we get it done, we'll have a better surface for us. And then we can get the ball down and play like Steve Lovell wants us to play, because even going back to last season, he said it was better for us playing away. Better surfaces than the Priestfield that tends to cut up and be a bit bobbly, but I'm sure some will have their opinions on why, and it's the cheap option, etc, etc. Well, you can't say that now, because we're spending $500,000 on a hybrid, part synthetic, part grass pitch. I mean, I'm no groundsman, I'm no expert, so, but it sounds rather fancy, doesn't it? So, but at the same time, it'd be better for other teams when they come down. So I'm sure the better footballing sides in the division will be happy to come down and play on our surface once it's done. But all we can do is try and concentrate on ourselves and do our job properly. And I'm sure if we start doing that on a consistent basis, we'll start moving up the league, because I'm still convinced that this squad isn't a relegation threatened squad. I think it's good enough to be in the top half. But like any sport, if you're struggling for confidence and you're struggling for momentum, things become harder. You have to think about stuff, and then you're more prone to make mistakes. But we'll be back Thursday with a weekly roundup. I'm sure it's going to be a quiet one this week, and we will look ahead to the Shrewsbury game at the weekend. Might chuck in a Q&A session this week if I get time, as we won't be going to the away fixture, but we will be at Pompey the Saturday after. As always, thanks for watching. Back to within 15 of 900 subscribers now on YouTube. Within about 7 of 900 on the Facebook page. So if we can get to 900 on both of them as quick as possible, I might try and do some sort of prize giveaway if we get there. So if you can spread the word, get us to 900 on both as quick as possible, and then we'll maybe try and sort something out. Do all your commenting, do all your feedback. We love it. We like getting involved. We like talking to people, home fans, away fans. It's really good to hear different people's different opinions. But yeah, that's it from me tonight. And until next time, up the Gills.